I'm Caleb Chapman with the Jazz Education Network, here with another installment of Beyond the Notes, and today I'm talking to my longtime friend, Mr. Victor Wooten from Berklee College of Music, and the Flecktones, and of course, legend on the electric bass. Vic, thanks for taking a minute to chat.
Thank you.
And you've been here for a few days now at the Jazz Education Network Conference, and you've been a fixture at the conferences for several years. For you, what's the highlight of the conference? Why do you keep coming back year after year? What is it that draws you back?
That's an easy one. The highlight is the kids. I love all the musicians of all ages, but I love the spirit of the young people. I love to stay up late and go to the jam sessions, and just to get to mingle and hang with them in the elevators and the hallways and the cafeterias and stuff like that. So number one is the kids.
Number one is the kids, and number two is the kids too, from what I've seen from you. I don't know any artist that puts more attention and focus on interacting with the youth here than yourself, and the kids are certainly excited about it. Outside of having a conference each year, Jen has a lot of outreach activities during the year. What's the role of an organization like the Jazz Education Network outside of a conference? What are the things that being part of an organization like Jen does for its members?
Well, there's a few things that come to mind. One is it helps educate, of course, jazz educators, education. So it helps educate. One of the main things that it does that may not get talked about it much is it's like a pit stop for us to get refueled. It's a chance for us. We go through the year, we teach, we play, and a year's long, so it's easy to get into your routine, your pattern, and start, kind of zoning out or either zoning in and doing the same thing over and over. And you come to Jen and you see this workshop, this performance, these students, and you get excited. And it's like a pit stop where you get refueled and you're ready to go again.
That's fantastic.
And to me that's the one. And that's the one that's not so obvious that we'll talk about it. Of course, it's fun to see the friends and all of that. But when you leave here, you feel ready to do it. New ideas, yeah.
Wonderful. One thing I've noticed with my students that's a benefit for them when they come to this conference is they leave, becoming aware of lots of musicians that they might not have heard of before.
Yeah, me too.
Some of the legends and certainly some up-and-comers.
Sure.
I've noticed that it's a little bit different than when we were younger, where we might know everybody that was playing on an album, the drummer, the guitarist, the bass player, the vocalist, and we would kind of know those album and the album liners, notes,
Absolutely.
Inside out and backwards.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we can do to help educate young musicians today on who players are? How can we introduce them to up-and-comers as well as some of the greats of the music that they need to kind of strengthen the foundations of the music?
Yeah, we need to find the things that speak the loudest to kids. Where it used to be our parents, now it's social media and their peers. A lot of kids look up to their peers who don't know anything more than they do. Where it used to be we looked up to our parents and our elders and grandparents, and it seems like with every generation we look up to our elders less and less. Now, I'm not here to be the old guy that's complaining about how it used to be. I'm just looking at how it is, and what's speaking loudly to kids right now is the internet and things like that. So I think if we can reach them on their level and show them why it's important to know where it came from and who these people are, the better. The thing with music is now, when we were young, back in our day, buying an album was an event.
Yeah.
It was an event. At least for me and my four brothers, we would buy an album. We would sit down together, listen to it literally together, pass the album around, look at the credits, and literally, like you said, know who was playing on everything. Nowadays, listening to music is an individual experience. We go and we download the track we want, and we listen to it in our headphones by ourselves. And one of the things that we could do, and I know Steve Bailey started doing it with a class at Berklee, was where he'd have one of his teachers bring in an album and students sit around and listen to it, and they read the credits and things like that. That kind of seems to be a thing of the past. But, like when I found out I know I'd spoken to you before, and I was talking about this nature elder that I had heard about when some friends of mine asked them how to get kids back outside, into nature and learning about trees and stuff. And his answer was to go outside and have more fun than they're having. So we need to kind of do the same thing, In other words, like I did a workshop today, and Chuck Rainey, great bassist, happened to be there.
Fantastic.
And so one of the things that Steve mentioned on the microphone was that he was there, and we showed our excitement and the fact that he was there, and all of a sudden you see people looking around. So there's something about having more fun, because of these people, because of these things, and just to create more, like getting a kid or tricking a kid or showing the importance of eating vegetables when all they want is cookies and ice cream. Yet we have to know how to do it. So I'm just kind of making up stuff as I think about it, because I don't really know the answer, but I know it has to do with making it important to them and fun for them to know who these people are.
Yeah.
I don't know if the whole album, reading the credits thing, I don't know if it's going to come back in our lifetime.
Right.
So what we can do while we're here is just to really show our enthusiasm as to know who these people are. When we're in a classroom, we can say, hey man, do you know who's playing second trumpet on that? And then the fact that we know.
I love that. And you brought up a word that I don't hear associated often enough with what we do, and that is fun.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think it's really easy to get bogged down in the academics. Playing jazz music, I mean, it's a difficult discipline. It takes hours and hours and a lifetime of commitment. And sometimes we get so caught up in that we forget that we're actually doing it for the enjoyment to ourselves as performers, but maybe almost more importantly, the enjoyment to those that are listening and sharing in the experience.
Absolutely.
So I love that you brought that up, and I hope we continue to find ways to bring that into the classroom.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're doing it. I saw your band. They're all having fun. People on stage are moving and smiling, and that's a really, really good thing to see, especially in jazz, because jazz came from that. Before that, it came out of a lot of sorrow.
Right.
And people took it and made it fun, or else, they just would have been crying all day. They brought it to the stage and they played their sorrows out and they danced their sorrows out and they took it to the clubs, but it was a dance music. It was a jubilee. It was a rejoicing music. It was a
celebration.
Celebration. I should just let you talk, because I'm trying to say all this stuff. You got it in one word. It was a celebration, right? And nowadays it's a chore. In a lot of cases, it's a chore. I have to practice these scales. I have to get it right. And so you see people not smiling and stuff like that. And you're right. It should be fun. And as elders, as teachers, we need to do more to make sure it is fun.
Well, let's hope we continue to do that. Once again, this is Caleb Chapman with Beyond the Notes with Victor Wooten. Thanks for your time today,
Thank you,
Vic.
Caleb. Thanks
So
for
great to
speaking
see
with
you,
me.
and thanks for your insights.